Isn't it cool that I have not seen one, not one. Normally, at least there's one. But in this circumstance, not one dissenting voice in mainstream media about this TikTok ban. Not a singular voice, dude. Maybe it's out there and I haven't seen it. But every report that I've read on the TikTok ban from every single outlet, all right, let's continue. Red Note surges in popularity as TikTok users seek alternatives amid potential ban.
Users are downloading another Chinese app in protest in case the wildly popular social media app TikTok is banned in the U.S. This app is called Red Note, and in case you didn't hear, it is the top downloaded app in the U.S. right now, which is unbelievable. It features short-form videos similar to what you see on TikTok. Some Americans, angry over the potential TikTok ban this weekend, are using the app to post videos with the hashtag TikTok refugee, which has surged in popularity. Folks in the U.S. who joined Red Note are being welcomed by other users. One wrote, "I am your Chinese spy." Jokingly, I suppose. TikTok's China-based parent company, ByteDance, has until this Sunday to sell off the app or face a ban here in the U.S. due to national security concerns. Ban is a bit of a stretch. Really what's going to happen is TikTok won't be available in your app store, so you won't be able to upload it. So theoretically, it would die a slow and glitchy death.
So no new users, and then you wouldn't be able to refresh with the software fixes.
Right.
So it would just get glitchy. But like, is Instagram Reels so bad to people that they're using another Chinese app rather?
Bro, my sinuses are so full. Air out of my nose, I start tearing up. It's crazy. That's crazy. Consume some food that is more hot sauce than food. I would rather not use social media for the rest of my life than rely primarily on Instagram Reels. It's a fate worse than death. Oh, do you have a Xiaohongshu account yet? No, I do not.
That is a good point.
Why not just go to the
Red Note might eventually face a similar fate if the government decides that it, is problematic. So
Ken also found out that not only is the TikTok ban not permanent, but as far as his reporting stands, the government has actually made specific carve-outs for specific people to continue using TikTok freely, which I don't even understand how that would work if TikTok is banned on January 19th and then TikTok actually shuts off its servers. Okay. Yeah. If you are a government official promoting the United States of America, they still want you on there. So if you catch me on TikTok after January 19th, you already know your suspicions are correct. I am working for the CIA and doing pro-American propaganda. That's how desperately I want my TikTok to remain, okay? Please don't take it away from me. I would like it. I would like to continue using it. I will do pro-American propaganda.
All right, breaking news, an earthquake in the world of social media that could be even bigger than we thought. Reports that TikTok is planning to shut down its app to users in the United States this Sunday, the day a federal ban is scheduled to take effect. Now, that ban was supposed to just mean that people couldn't update their apps. This goes much, much further. This means that people won't even be able to get in to TikTok. This new report comes from the tech site The Information. CNN's Claire Duffy is here. This is a huge deal. This is much bigger than we thought it would be and much quicker.
Yeah, I imagine there are some creators on TikTok who are really freaking out now if they weren't already. ByteDance really had three options here. The first was to shut down TikTok altogether when this ban went into effect. The next was to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese owner. They've expressed very little interest so far in doing that, although we may be hearing some negotiating happening soon. And the third option was to essentially do nothing and allow the app stores to ban it, because it was always really the app stores who were on the hook to remove the platform from their app stores.
I've been bringing up the expanded impact of the TikTok ban into the drug development terrain. The Biosecure Act was proposed by Dems last year, and it would force U.S. companies to divest or stop working with Chinese companies. This would be extremely detrimental to literally anyone on medication. It's especially detrimental when you consider that China has been on the cutting edge of novel chemical compound discovery so far, especially in this last year, where they figured out like a new chemical for dental work that like autofills, like rebuilds your teeth. is something that I saw. There was another thing like where they've made serious leaps in discovery in terms of Alzheimer's, like combating Alzheimer's, and numerous other things. So the fact that they are the fact that they would try to do that. Curing diabetes, that's another thing. The fact that they would shut that off is, who am I joking with? I mean, they did that with Cuba. Cuba has a lung cancer vaccine, and it's illegal for Americans to go and get it in Cuba, and people still do it illegally. Okay? So, that hasn't stopped America before.
And that's really what we expected, was that people just wouldn't be able to download the app if they got a new phone. They wouldn't be able to update it. But if you had the app on your phone, you would still be able to use it. Now, according to this new report, it sounds like people won't be able to access the app at all. If they go on there, they'll be redirected to a site explaining the ban. Creators may be able to download their data, their old videos, but they won't actually be able to access TikTok. And this may be sort of a negotiating tactic on the part of ByteDance. They obviously are going to have a lot of upset creators, and as they're trying to potentially work out a plan with the new Trump administration, that having lots of angry folks in the United States, 170 million American users, could be a leverage point for ByteDance here. We're already seeing creators move to a number of different alternative apps as people try to...
Isn't it cool that I have not seen not one. Normally, at least there's one. But in this circumstance, not one dissenting voice in mainstream media about this TikTok ban. Not a singular voice, dude. Maybe it's out there and I haven't seen it. But every report that I've read on the TikTok ban, from every single outlet, from Fox News down to independent media, down to not independent media, but down to, local broadcasters, not a single one of them have talked about how insane this process is. Virtually every single critique of this revolves around the legality of it. But even then, while they're talking about is this legal, or will this have a chilling effect on free speech across the board? Once that question is asked, the answer is immediately no, not at all. They're going to write a very specific carve out for TikTok alone. It is crazy. Someone said Wall Street Journal did a piece against it. They keep explaining it like ByteDance is groveling to the US. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's the other thing. They're also making it seem as though America holds massive power in this equation. Of course the Chinese are going to succumb to our whim. This already happened. It happened in India. Okay. Yes, the US market is only 17% of TikTok's user base, which is not that significant. But the amount of money that the amount of revenue that TikTok generates for American institutional investors, by the way, very wealthy institutional investors that are American, first and foremost, just so you understand, is a tremendous number. It's not a tiny percentage. The revenue you generate from the American market is massive. Americans are wealthy. Americans love selling stuff. Americans love, more importantly, buying stuff. Okay? So having said that, it is a big hit. As far as the user base goes, when TikTok was banned in India initially, they just found a second market, okay? They went to a different market and were able to make up that loss. For the United States of America, I'm not so sure if they'd be able to make up that revenue loss, but I don't think they care. 20% of your users isn't small. Well, they India banned TikTok too, chat, and that's, I suspect, was a much larger market than the American one, but it wasn't large by revenues, I suspect. I don't know, actually. What was the Indian revenue for TikTok India? I wonder if we could find it. But it was definitely a larger user base overall. It is crazy, though. I have a really bad one that was pro-ban for the time. Starts at 57 seconds. Oh, David French on the case for banning TikTok. This podcast is supported by Thuma, this is a modern design company.
TikTok official in New York Times opinion, where I focus on law, politics, and culture.
The U.S. Supreme Court is weighing whether the federal government can ban TikTok if its Chinese owner ByteDance refuses to sell.
The U.S. is arguing that TikTok poses a serious threat to national security and must ultimately find a new owner or be shut down. TikTok officials say the law violates free speech rights.
David, I really wanted to talk to you about your very strong opinion about TikTok. You've written that you think the app should be banned in the United States because of national security concerns. As a legal expert and as somebody who spent your career fighting for free speech, I'd really love to walk through how you think.
Yeah, I love these free speech defenders being like, no, you don't understand. It's actually really awesome that it's happening this time. Like, it's so frustrating, dude. It's not that complex. It directly contradicts, like, I don't even care about TikTok's supposed editorial control over its own algorithm, okay? So as a platform, it technically is like, in some way, shape, or form, doing a demonstration of speech. But that's not what the real reason is. Like, I mean, part of the reason is because Americans are using it for free speech in a way that the American government can't curb or control or have any say in. And that's very frustrating. What's really funny about this process on, at least like with respect to the Red Book, people going on the Red Note or the Red Book, okay, is that people are, all the liberals on Twitter are like chiming in, talking about how, hold on, all the liberals are chiming in about being like, oh, why don't you type in Tiananmen Square or Uyghur genocide on the Red Note? And it's like, dude, this wasn't even a story until America decided to ban TikTok. Like, what is the argument? What is the argument? Like, you're saying like, oh, well, they're doing free speech suppression, so it's okay that we do it too? Like, I don't understand. And they're writing it in English and not in Chinese. And apparently if you write it in Mandarin, it shows up, but it doesn't matter. It's just like, it's so stupid that they're like, that's why we have to ban TikTok. Oh, okay, got it. Like, even the argument that you could make is, well, guess what? You know, Facebook doesn't operate in China, or Twitter doesn't operate in China, or TikTok itself doesn't exist in China. They have a different product, and that product is far more restrictive. Okay, is that a good thing? Why is it that if it's a bad thing, you're only focusing on you're only interested in copying the bad things that China does, never the good things? No punishment for corrupt party officials, no punishment for corrupt corporate oligarchs, no punishments whatsoever no high-speed rail, no even development. It's very frustrating. They're going to take all of the worst aspects of Chinese governance and be like, oh, we're only implementing those. Well, at least they have the high-speed rails and the lack of free speech. I'd rather take the high-speed rails and then have like Chinese safeguards over my internet, okay? We're doing the censorship and we don't even have the high-speed rails. It's such a stupid argument. Give me the high-speed rail, and then we'll discuss whether it's all right if I can call Donald Trump Winnie the Pooh or something, okay? If you give me the high-speed rail, I'm willing to never call Donald Trump Winnie the Pooh, okay? If that's even a real thing. What a shit argument. Oof. Wait, really? Really? You want to... What you fail to comprehend here is that if you write pro-Palestinian sentiment enough times on almost every single one of the American-owned and operated social media platforms, you still get boomed. And guess what? On top of that, you don't have high-speed rail. So who wins in that situation? Yeah, go type cisgender on Twitter talking about free speech, which is not even about private institutions anyway. Oof, move to China. Dude, this is such a funny own. Like, you do realize that I would probably be fine moving and living in China. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think they're going to do to me if I did move to China? Like, you're not talking about an area that has been absolutely destroyed by American empire at this point. Like, when you say, oh, if you love it so much, why don't you move to Iraq? It's like, well, America fucked it. So it's kind of hard for me to like have a normal, comfortable existence there. But if you're talking about like move to China, it's like, yeah, no, that sounds awesome. You're threatening me with a good time. Like, I would love to do that. It's no different than asking me to move to Japan. Okay. You understand that, right? It's so stupid. But the reason why you have this stupid opinion is because in your mind, it's like, ooh, a scary place. I have more rights in a place like China than like a person growing up in a rural area does, by the way. Like, I have more freedoms in regards to how I can operate in China like the real argument, if you want to be critical of China, is to talk about the two-tier structure that some places that haven't been developed yet have in terms of moving into tier 1 cities, for example. And they're working on it, for the record. That's an initiative that like they're working on. But like there are legitimate criticisms that you could have. It's just weird to have those criticisms in the United States of America. Okay? It's just weird. It's weird and hypocritical and stupid. Are you seriously comparing Japan to China? Yes, you're right. China is actually currently in its Japan in the 90s stage, so it's probably infinitely better to live in China than to live in Japan. Yeah. No imprisoning political opinions. Yeah, the right stuff. Oh my God. What is this?
Privileges that we had in America that we don't quite
have. All right,
have
here we are. We've landed once again in this TikTok conversation because so many people are constantly like critical of China, but not in the right ways. Okay. Critical of China in like really silly ways where I just have to sit here and, glaze China. Dude, you have to understand, this isn't the 80s anymore, man. You can't just like behave as though you cannot behave as though China is like, post-famine North Korea, okay? Like everyone has internet, dude. You have internet. You can check it out online. Like, you cannot be this inundated with anti-China propaganda that you are just refusing to recognize that it is a normal country just like any other country, okay? It is functionally no different than like Norway or France. You know what I mean? You would never, if you were like, go live in France, dumbass, okay? If you said something along those lines, everyone would laugh at you and be like, why? I would love to live in France. That sounds awesome. You know what I mean? But for Americans, they're so brain rotted where they're like, what? Look, go live in China then. It's so stupid. Like, you can even make that argument about Russia, right? Understandable. Okay? Lots of corruption, a state that is completely owned by a couple oligarchs that are controlled by Vladimir Putin, engaging in an unjustifiable war. There's a lot of, there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of disorder. Makes sense. Okay. I get that. It wouldn't be the best. Okay. It wouldn't be great. Also terrible weather conditions in general, but that's like that's one thing, right? But making this argument about China is so stupid. The video you have on screen is satirical. No, I know. I love these guys. I watch them all the time. I see them on my For You page all the time.
To figure out sort of what's next. And it's not necessarily the Instagrams and the YouTubes that you would expect. There are a lot of new apps that are cropping up, including Lemonade, which is a ByteDance app like TikTok is. Red Note, which is actually a Chinese-owned app as well, and then Flip, Clapper, Fanbase, a number of these other apps that are also short-form video. Creators can make money, so it'll be really interesting if we do see this ban go into effect, whether any of these ends up being sort of the winner over the mainstream apps that we know of.
Yeah, again, this is just such a huge difference from what almost everyone thought this was going to be, which was, you won't be able to put the new app on the phone. It would get a little bit of clunky over weeks or months, but not, I can't get in to watch my cat videos as of Sunday. I mean, I think 170 million people are in for a big surprise. Now, the inauguration is Monday, and as you said, we just don't know how this is going to change or what will play out here.
Yeah, it's a really good question, a big question. And again, let's talk about that second option there, that ByteDance could sell TikTok. Yesterday, we are seeing reports from Bloomberg, from the Wall Street Journal, that Chinese officials are now considering Elon Musk as a...
I don't know why they're saying this when, like, Vanity Fair went to TikTok and they were like, this is insane. This is not even remotely in question. And they're still running with this narrative. And I genuinely don't know what's true anymore. Because, like, I usually trust Bloomberg and Reuters, especially when it is like reporting on issues that pertain to, corporate takeovers, things like that. And it's shocking to me that they're just like still going along with this.
New American owner for at least part of the U.S. operations of TikTok, which is really interesting, right? Because Elon Musk already owns X. He could add to his massive social media portfolio that he already has. TikTok called this report pure fiction, but for a lot of logical reasons, it would make sense why the Chinese...
Wait, so you're saying TikTok actually said it was pure fiction, but it still makes logical sense? And you're still running with the initial reporting that the primary party called pure fiction, so you are aware. that they called it pure fiction. That makes even less sense. Why would you actively undermine the initial... What is going on, man? I just don't... No, Mr. Beast doesn't make more logical sense either. He does not have the money to buy TikTok. He did it so we can get 635,000 likes. Come on, dude. Unironically, I have so many billionaires reach out to me since I tweeted this. Let's see if we can pull this off. Trump is pressuring the Chinese government to force the sale of their share. This isn't the same as TikTok and Musk dealing directly. Yeah, I'll buy it, dude.
Would consider Elon Musk, you know, a friendlier American owner than a lot of other folks who have put their hands up to buy this platform. Elon Musk has huge business interests in China. It's the second largest market for Tesla. He does a lot of manufacturing there. And so China may see Elon Musk as the best possible option here if they don't win their Supreme Court case.
All right, a lot going on, a lot to watch, and maybe a lot of unhappy people in just a few days. Claire Duffy, thank you very much. With me now is a Democratic senator from the state of Massachusetts, or the Commonwealth, I should have said, Ed Markey. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. If TikTok shuts down in the U.S., on Sunday, what would the impact of that be?
The impact would be dramatic. There are 170 million users.
That's right, Ed Mackey. Let's go. He's doing the damn thing.
Of TikTok in the United States. 7 million businesses use TikTok in the United States, all across California.
I mentioned this part as well. Like, there are so many startup small businesses that actually took root on TikTok. Like, what a silly thing to just like undermine.
California right now, families, businesses are using TikTok to create communities, to try to deal with the tragedy that continues to unfold. So if there is in fact a ban, if TikTok goes dark on Sunday, it's going to have significant impact in our country. I think older people just don't understand the role which TikTok plays in the culture of people in our country under the age of 40. It is deeply embedded into our country, and that's why I'm going to, on the floor of the Senate today, make a unanimous consent request to pass my legislation to give TikTok another 270 days to negotiate a resolution of this issue. But it would just absolutely be a very significant moment in the history of communications in our country to have a site go dark, just be banned in our country with no other resolution that was in fact made possible.
I had a chance to ask Republican Congressman Dusty Johnson about your proposal for an extension. This is what he said. Listen.
I think it is crazy that we would allow an adversary of the United States to control such a major...
Dog, pack it up. Your name is Dusty Johnson, dude. God, another reason that South Dakota is not a real place. Like, what are we doing, man? My man's name is literally Dusty Penis. And he's out here not embarrassed every single day. He's unashamed and willing to go on national television and be like, yes, I am Dusty Penis. And I think our foreign adversary should not own a massive social media application. Please, dude. Like, yeah, that's right. My penis is so unused, it is dusty or dirty, whichever one you want. I just don't, oh my God. Deeply unserious nation. Merge the Dakotas immediately and give it under the crushing thumb of Burgum. Burgomaniacs rise up, okay? Give it under the protectorate of Doug Burgum and let him control both of the Dakotas. Enough of this South Dakota nonsense, North Dakota nonsense. No more Dakota divide. One Dakota, united. Donald Trump's going to do that too, my king. Yeah, I have a one-state solution for Dakota, a one-state solution for Israel-Palestine, and a one-state solution for Korea. Okay? Why you never talk about uniting the Carolinas? Sure, why not?
News outlet. This is not about the content on TikTok. Listen, I get it. People are hungry for their goofy dance videos. There are lots of places they can get that. This is about the fact that we would allow the Chinese Communist Party this kind of access to propaganda channels. We would never have let the Soviet Union buy up the CBS Evening News and the Wall Street Journal. The fact that
oh my God, imagine that would have been, we'd be living in a dramatically different universe. Like maybe we would have had healthcare if we did that. Actually, who am I fooling here? I mean, TikTok is Chinese, but we don't got no healthcare, and we are not closer to it at all. So,
Chinese Communist Party running TikTok is hard for me to understand.
He suggests that you're okay with the Chinese Communist Party running TikTok.
The intelligence community.
Like, dude, that's not a question, man. Like, you're trying to bully Ed Markey for taking a popular position as a senator. Okay. His position is represented by the overwhelming majority of Americans. Okay. The overwhelming majority of Americans do not want TikTok to be banned. TikTok has 170 million active users. Okay. And you are unnecessarily contentious towards the wishes of the public, and also simultaneously are showing clips from a man named Dusty Penis as the guy backing your argument. And the entire argument revolves around Red Scare Mania. I'm willing to bet there's more people in South Dakota that like TikTok than Dusty Penis, okay?
He produced absolutely no evidence that the Chinese government is compromising this information. It provided no information whatsoever.
Great answer from Ed Markey, who is, I feel like, so old that if he actually looked at a TikTok For You page, he might perish on the spot, but respect for him defending TikTok.
What we have right now is something completely different. It's a lot more than just cat videos. It's 7 million businesses who use it. It's 170 million Americans who use it every single day, and in many ways, very dependent upon it as part of their lives to make a living. There are people in California on Sunday, if this gets cut off, they won't have a way to make a living. They won't have a way to generate income for themselves. That's what we're talking about. We need the Supreme Court to have more time in order to decide this, to create an extension. Donald Trump is asking for an extension for more time so that he can work on this issue as well. That's what my legislation intends.
All right, shut up, Ed. Shut up. You're speaking too many facts.
On attempting to achieve, and I'm going to do that with Senator Booker and Senator Wyden today.
All right, let me just jump in for a little context here. Number one, the Supreme Court in its questioning seemed to indicate they were going to let this congressionally passed law, a bipartisan law, go through, which would mean the ban would go into effect on Sunday. We think that's where the Supreme Court is going. And I just want to point out, there are Republicans who agree with you, but there are plenty of Democrats who agree with Dusty Johnson. This law was passed by a bipartisan majority and signed in both houses, and signed into law, I should say, by President Biden. You said that President...
Did he ask Dusty Johnson how he feels about his own president, which the Republican Party has demonstrated a lot more fealty to Donald Trump than the Democrats have to the rest of the party. Democrats argue amongst themselves all the goddamn time. Did he ask those questions to Dusty Penis? Was he like, hey, Dusty, what's up with your name? Also, if we're done with that part of the questioning, what's going on? You know, your own party leader, your God King, doesn't agree with you. What's going on with that? Also, third question, why is there a thing called South Dakota? Why have we not merged them yet? Okay. Did you ask him that question too, CNN? I don't think so. This is what I mean, chat, when I say it's always so, like, there is so little coverage on the opposing argument. There is so little coverage on not banning TikTok. And the only time it's ever mentioned is it immediately has to be contentious. And people immediately have to attack the person even making that argument. Hello, I am Chinese and I've been watching your stream with my American husband for a long time. I was wondering how come since when you realized that China is not the China in American propaganda? What? Bait? Question mark? Dude sounds like less gay Bill Maher. What? Goes on red note once. Yeah. He's like, I found a Chinese wife, Hasan. I went on red note. We're married now. I think they're asking, when did you learn that there's more to China than what we're told in American propaganda? I don't know. Maybe I have relatives who are Chinese. That could be part of the equation, even though they are literally from Taiwan. But still, some of them work in mainland China. Perhaps that might be relatively instructive on my more nuanced understanding of Chinese development and China in general. Recent poll shows only 22% of U.S. folks oppose TikTok ban. There ain't no way, big dog. There ain't no way, okay? So more than half of the population of the United States of America is on TikTok, but only 22% oppose banning TikTok. As in 80% or 78% actually are in favor of it. Yeah, I don't believe that, okay? People are just like on it while they're like, yeah, I really hope they take this away from me. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what that poll says. I'm sorry. That's a ridiculous assessment. Poll was taken on Instagram Reels. Yeah, poll exclusively asked 90-year-olds. Why TikTok ban looming? How many Americans support it? Public opinion has changed a lot. Between March 2023 and August 2024, support for the ban decreased from 50% to 32%. Americans, according to Pew Research poll. During the same time period, Americans who reported opposing the ban went up from 22 to 28. A Change.org petition named TikTok, Keep TikTok, Protect National Security, got 100. That doesn't mean anything. One way to save TikTok at the 11th hour. According to Pew Research Center, about 50% of Americans surveyed supported a ban on TikTok, while 22% opposed it in March 2023. Yeah, I don't believe that. A declining share of adults and few teens support a U.S. TikTok ban. Wait, I'm assuming there's a new poll from Pew that we haven't seen. The poll also showed the support for the ban dropped among both major political parties. In March 2023, 60% of Republicans and 43% of Democrats supported the ban. By fall, just 42% of Republicans and 24% of Democrats supported it. Wait, what? That chatter said there's a lot of people that want to ban TikTok. Did you say the wrong thing or did you read it incorrectly? Because this article doesn't support you. What? As a Chinese, I don't trust the most content on Xiaohongshu. Hello, I am Chinese man. Let me tell you, we are suffering out here. America number one. One day, the Republic of China will overtake mainland China, including but not limited to Mongolia as well. It is ours. It is ours for the taking. The KMT has betrayed the people. This is what I think. As a mainland Chinese, I hate the Chinese Party of Communism. Restore one singular China and give the ownership to the Taiwanese population. I must have looked at the YouGov poll, which shows 44% support the ban. Yeah, I don't believe it. Like I said, I don't believe it. Ed Markey literally voted for the TikTok ban, by the way. Yeah, he was wrong. And now Ed Markey's 90. I don't know if he knows what he's doing there. I'm not kidding. There are some very reactionary Chinese bloggers on Xiaohongshu. I watched a post blaming LA Fire to fish in the river. Wait, what? Public support for a government ban on TikTok has declined. In summer 2024 survey, 32% of adults said they would support it, down from 50% in March. Another 28% said they opposed the ban, while 39% were not sure. Hello, I am not Chinese. I'm interested in China history. Have you heard of a 100 Flowers campaign? Did you think Mao planned to use the criticism as a ploy to lock up intellectuals all along? Yes. Everything he did deliberately. He was like, yeah, no, definitely criticize the government. It's open season. And guess who it was open season for? Anyone who chose to criticize him. Okay? That's right. They would show you this law. Oh, Tiananmen Square. Oh my God. I do think it's funny where people who are just like, protesters should be able to execute you with their cars, are like, what about Tiananmen Square? Why is that like the big thing that people always point to? Like, I just don't understand. Like, Americans love running over protesters. What's the problem? It was a meme for a long time. Yeah. Check this user's last message. They got timed out. One day I'll have my Nike shoes. What? Ban Twitch too then? Okay, so ban all social media then? NSA mass surveillance, Kent State Uni, Church of Scientology, David Miscavige, May 4th, 1970 massacre, May 13th, move bombing. Trail of Tears. Red Summer 1919, House Un-American Activities Committee. Human Rights, Citizens United, Jim Crow segregation. Wait, human rights. Just human rights. Nothing specific. Just human rights. Citizens United. Safety. High-speed rail. Strong mass line. Republic of Hawaii. 13 colonies. Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. Edward Snowden. Yeah. These two words will trigger every American citizen. Okay? Human rights. Don't bring it up. You will cause State Department heads to implode. Anyway, Battle of Blair Mountain. Bro, your mods are banning so many free speeches? No, it's Fossabot. Anyway, she didn't start the fire. It was always burning. Human rights. America not perfect, but people died for this country. America's the most diverse country in the world. Yeah, we're so good at handling all this diversity, you know? Anyway, all right, I'm done. I'm ending it early today at a measly 6-hour half day. I'm not feeling too great. Do you still want terrorists like Hamas to be in charge of Gaza or an actual progressive Palestinian government? What a question. What a loaded question. I think the Palestinian population should decide who's in charge of it. What do you think? Do you like that? I like that. Do you think terrorists like the Likud party or Itamar Ben-Gvir or Benjamin Netanyahu or Bezalel Smotrich should be in charge of the genocidal apartheid regime of Israel? Or do you think we should dismantle it piece by piece and create a secular, singular, solitary, progressive state? Since you use the term progressive, I will